oh, your emotions are nothing, you're like, they just raised me to be this robot.
They're very conservative. They want you to follow a certain path to become successful, and success can be defined as many things, but for them it's defined as wealth, definitely. Not so much of like other things, like successful in like yourself, like blossoming and like thriving on your own, but it's more of how much money did you make or your salary, or etc. It's all numbers. So then all of those emotions that they make you suppress because they see it as a distraction definitely takes a toll on your mental health.
I played soccer for a good like 7 years. I also played basketball, golf, softball. I just got into boxing and kickboxing and MMA, so that's really fun. And I think that's a great way to channel your energy, especially like emotional energy, like you could just punch bags or something like that. But after I got injured, like I dislocated both of my knees and my elbow. Ridiculous, I know. I can still feel it today. But after all of that, I couldn't play sports for a long time. I had to go to physical therapy, and then I got depressed again, or my depression got worse. So then I went to physical therapy and they told me to go to the gym, so I've been going to the gym. And then I worked my way up into boxing recently, and MMA and kickboxing.
In high school, I would always bring food from home, and usually it's like Chinese food, like traditional Chinese food or traditional Filipino food, and they usually have a strong scent of like fish sauce or something that normal Americans, westernized Americans, don't really use in their foods, in their cuisines. So whenever I would like pull out my little canister and like open it, people would be like, ew, what's that smell? And I'm just like eating in the corner. I'm like, it's my fish and rice, but it's okay. And it's gotten better. I've definitely embraced it because I traveled to Asia last year, and it definitely made me realize that it's a part of the culture and that you should be proud of it, because like you don't get that anywhere else. There were only 4 Asian Americans in his school, and he went to an all-boys school, and majority of the people were white, and there's only 4 Asians. So he just tells me about his struggle of how racism is very prevalent and how he used to get bullied, and he wanted me to get the best education, and he thought it would be more different, more diverse now, and so he put me into a private school as well. And there were a lot of Asians, I guess you can say. There's a lot of like Indians and like Filipinos and stuff like that, but there were definitely more white people than there were Asians. So I definitely faced some kind of social oppression amongst the school, and it's fine because I grew from it. Asian Americans aren't very represented in the media and so forth. They're definitely making progression into society, like Asian American culture. More people are getting into like K-pop, so then that's definitely coming into America. For me, my like role model, you know, Crazy Rich Asians, that definitely made a, what is that called? Like it's made Asians more known, especially since majority of the cast was Asian and different backgrounds. They're not just from like China or something like that. They're all different. A lot of people that like slide into my DMs or they talk to me, they're like, oh wow, I like Asian girls. Like, why is that necessary? You're like, oh, you're pretty for an Asian girl. Like, what, for an Asian girl? Like, I'm pretty, I'm just as a girl, you know, like, why did you have to add that part? And then they'll say things like, oh, you're into that, like, can I call you Ling Ling or something like that? Like, no, don't do that. Like, do you eat rice every day? Like, yes, but don't say that. Yeah, they'll just say a bunch of racial oppression that's very prevalent, especially when people are unaware. Although they might not like think of it like that's just the first thing that comes to their mind and they're like uneducated about it, it's kind of a thing where that makes you more aware that you're not really represented much in media as much as like other ethnicities, like white people. They're just like your standard white person, you know, like successful, like etc. That's how like American society sees them. But for Asians, you know, you have this expectation of being super smart and going into like a STEM major, always having good grades, and it's just hard having to like keep up with all these standards and like growing up to become this like robot or like model minority.